The next lady that's going to be addressing you is a very, very special lady at the University of the Western Cape. Professor Pamela DUBE is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Student Development and Support. This particular function, this particular initiative is done under the auspices of her office. So we have great pleasure in calling her to come and address you. Please give a big round of applause for Professor Pamela DUBE.
Thank you very much, Program Director. The Rector has just left, but I will acknowledge him. So to the Rector and Vice-Chancellor of the University of the Western Cape, Professor Tyrone Pretorius, the former Justice of the Constitutional Court, Justice Albie Sachs, we are very happy to have you here. I noticed the Public Protector has just joined us. Advocate Musisiwe Mkhwebane, we're very happy to have you here. Mr. Shikwambana should also be in the audience from the SABC, the regional SABC of the Western Cape. We are very happy to have you here. And of course, our board of directors for the Media Society, the members of the Media Society in all their diversities for the radio, print, and television stream, the SRC president, the SRC leadership, the student leadership that is here with us today, and to all the students, our invited guests that are going to be part of the panel, and all our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As we gather here this afternoon, during this very important August month, I'm reminded of Thandiswa Mazwai's song, Nizalwa Ngobani, a song that urges people to be proud of who they are and about where they come from, and which reminds us of how far we have come. In my view, it is an important and relevant song to think about today because it is unapologetically visionary and optimistic about the essence of who we are. Its power resonates with UWC's proud history and essence of who we are as UWC. The sense of self-knowledge, the vision and optimism of establishing a media society was made possible by the willingness and courage of all those students who have turned an idea into reality that we are all witnessing today. When I think about the journey leading to this important occasion, what comes to mind as well is the title of W.B. Yeats' poem, The Second Coming. I thought about it also because of an important history that defines the role and contribution that UWC Radio especially and the Student Voice newspaper played as part of the makeup of UWC as the mouthpiece of students challenging the apartheid system in the 90s. These critical advocacy instruments lost their voice when the UWC Radio and the Student Voice newspaper were led in a different direction, resulting in their unfortunate demise. This second coming brings a very proud moment for me, and I'm sure that the same feeling for the rest of the campus, it's the same feeling that goes for the rest of the campus community, our alumni and our friends of the university as we launch the Media Society and the Media Mind Blast annual engagement that we are launching. It is the unrelenting drive to exceed expectations, to improve on past accomplishments, to continuously renew in an increasingly dynamic environment that allows the university to keep on providing the all-round quality experience that we strive to provide. Peter Drucker reminds us that within a few short decades, society, its worldview, its basic values, its social and political structures, its key institutions, always rearranges itself. Close quotation. We are currently living through such a time. Not only are we reinventing our world, but we must pay attention to the process by which we wish to achieve this invention by focusing on this innate capacity of our youth, our students, to create their future, which is exemplified by their commitment to relive the dream of those who braved brute force and oppression. The South African media landscape is forever evolving, and one of the key platforms to depict these changes is community radio. The dynamic growth of the sector is as a result of a number of stations getting licensed and coming online, as well as the increased relevance of stations in their respective communities, which continues to contribute towards the steady growth of the sector. We might see this growth trend continuing to hold in 2019 as more and more stations perfect the art of focused, locally relevant, and nuanced programming. As data costs begin to plateau, more audiences begin to consume their media in spaces more convenient to them, even for longer hours. This has resulted in an increased number of new audiences emerging. New digital-empowered revolution bodes well for the diversity of offers across the media sector at large. Looking ahead, the picture appears that the community broadcasting sector would continue to be a reservoir of talent for public and commercial broadcasting in South Africa. And this talent supply stream will continue to flow, especially because sector-specific training institutions continue to churn out the skills and talent required by the industry. A new cohort of radio sales, programmers, managers, IT, and broadcast engineers graduate and continue to swell the ranks of the stations. This investment into the talent and skills pool continues to yield the desired dividends for the industry. We have taken concrete steps by investing in the equipment, and we will continue building on the current capacity to meet the objectives and support the media society that it requires to obtain a community radio license. We believe that it's important to allow young people to have a space to utilize their voice and speak about matters that are important to them, and to allow for debates and engagements that are inclusive of not just the university community, but our surrounding communities as well, and other relevant stakeholders. In a world flooded with ever-increasing amount of irrelevant information and rhetoric, clarity is priceless. Credibility, accountability, and trust are the key valuable commodities and the new sources of power. However, identifying just who to trust, who is an authority, and who has credibility is not that easy. In the boardroom and many spaces beyond the boardroom, the pressure is always on to have answers right now. Status is given to the dominant voice or the person who can give the quickest reply in the most confident way. And there is a growing tendency to repeat and pass on utterances and images without confirming facts. So if our intention is for the search of truth and for a solution to the problems, we need to embrace instances of "I don't know" answers, or "let's consider this" responses, so that we can create spaces for explorations or curiosity to flourish, and for honest establishment of the facts to take place. Without dictating how the media society should be run and what it should do, I think that it is important to consider that in its multi-layers, the possibility to spread joy, laughter, and connections is possible, while ensuring that listeners, viewers, or readers are empowered with information and analysis of the world around them. The fact that we are deeply entrenched in the communities in which we operate enables a textured and rich analysis that is not always possible in other contexts. As I close, I wish to sincerely thank our UWC students for being at the forefront of this initiative, as this is as this day is made possible as a result of their agency. We are deeply indebted to the contribution of colleagues and our external partners, including especially our board of directors, who give so generously of their time and services and have made an indelible mark in setting up strong governance and a strategy for media society. And the SABC Western Cape, in particular, with whom we have a formal partnership agreement and which has begun already providing training to our students, which complements the efforts of the project management team led by our very able expertise from JP Law that started this journey with us since 2018. As we move forward, ready to face any challenges that may come along the way, it is my hope that the story of the UWC Media Society will provide a safety net of trust beneath the dreams of those willing to keep reminding us of who we are as UWC, in ourselves, as we see ourselves, and in the eyes of the communities that we serve, and about where we come from. It is my hope that the Media Society will remain true to its mandate and will provide a space for critical engagement and become a fearless voice that is predicated on objectivity, fairness, and balance. To the Media Society students, thank you very much. This is your moment. At this point, I would like to call on Sesetu to introduce Justice Albie Sachs, our guest speaker for this afternoon. Thank you.